What is going on, everybody? It's the France, and we're here for an unscripted review for Smackdown Week 2 of no audience, no crowd, no nothing. So, last week, Triple H was the MVP. Last week, Triple H made the show fun and made the show watchable. What did WWE do this week? Let's take Triple H out of the equation. Let's put Michael Cole in there by himself with nobody commentating with him except for when Sami Zayn was there for a minute and when Dolph Ziggler was there for a minute. Also, WWE announced that they were going to have WrestleMania 30, 31, I believe, and 33, if I'm correct, shown over the next 3 weeks on ESPN starting at 7 on Sunday. So, what does WWE do tonight? For about 25 to 30 minutes of this show was the entire match between John Cena and Bray Wyatt from WrestleMania 30. And my God, when we get to that, I'm going to give my thoughts on did it help or hurt the hype for The Fiend versus John Cena. Cole talks about WrestleMania 36 airing over 2 nights this year with 3-time NFL Super Bowl champion Rob Gronkowski serving as the official host. Cole says it's a video package looking at Gronk. Cole says there will be a party at WrestleMania 36. I doubt it. I will say the people who do WWE's art or like shirts and everything, they're getting into the fun of everything as well, or trying to make some fun out of this because they have a shirt on WWE.com right now on their shop that is the WrestleMania logo that says I wasn't there. It says I wasn't at top, and below the logo it says there, and then it says too big for one night. Mojo Rawley is in the ring with Cole. He goes to introduce Gronk, but Mojo snatches the mic and tries to get Cole hyped up for the introduction of his best friend. Mojo does the introduction, and out comes former New England Patriot Gronk. He dances to the ring. I don't know who WWE is trying to fool here, but Rob Gronkowski's theme was a ripoff of the Party Rock anthem by LMAFO. You can't hide it from me. I can tell you right now that is the Party Rock anthem remixed for this guy. He's dancing. He's looking like gyrating his hips around the ring post as he gets in the ring. So he's been watching WWE since he was a kid, from the nosebleeds. He watched the early days of FCW to support his friend Mojo. He's been sold out at WrestleMania events in front of 80,000 people. Now he's here in front of 0 people tonight. But he's still hyped. Mentions his WrestleMania 36 hosting gigs. Mojo says he's here to watch Gronk's back because in WWE it's different than the NFL when it comes to hard hitting. We get hit in the ring, out of the ring, on the field, off the field, so on and so forth. They're hyping each other up. When out comes, Gronk was giving Mojo Rawley chops to the chest. When out comes Baron Corbin. Yes, Baron Corbin has to come out here to ruin our damn fun. Which there was no fun to be had because it was Rob Gronkowski and Mojo Rawley. Mojo Rawley has been irrelevant since his NXT days. He has literally been nothing but mediocre. And here he is now with his friend Rob Gronkowski from Raw. He came from Raw, and I guess he's on Smackdown now. Or he's whatever Gronk is. Corbin congratulates Gronk on making it to the WWE. He says he's setting himself up for failure by aligning himself with Mojo, which honestly is true. Corbin goes on and says he expects Gronk to get on his knees and bow to the king. Gronk isn't having any of that. Corbin's going on talking about Gronk, but out comes Elias with his latest song. He starts bashing Corbin, talking how Gronk is going to chokeslam him into a million pieces or whatnot, and then that annoys him. Gronk shoves Corbin on his back as Mojo kneels behind him. They laugh at Corbin, Elias ends up entering the ring and attacking Corbin, tossing him out of the ring. Gronk says he can't make matches, but he's advocating for Elias versus Corbin at WrestleMania 36. Which, obviously, that was the way they were going for the last few weeks before all this happened. This is pre-show match fodder, no doubt about it. Baron Corbin, not somebody that I want to watch. Elias is good on the mic, good singing, but his ring skills are not that great. This match is going to fucking suck. If the rumors of them taping WrestleMania are true, this is one of those matches that they could, just leave on the cutting room floor. I really do not need to see Elias versus Baron Corbin at WrestleMania. Cole says we should We will have to find out if WWE officials say about Lashley Corbin, which they did not actually confirm tonight, but we still have another week or 2 weeks. We have another 2 weeks of SmackDowns in empty arenas as of right now before we get to WrestleMania. Universal Champion Shitbird will be here tonight to sign a contract with Roman Reigns. We see Nakamura, Cesaro, Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn backstage walking. Daniel Bryan and Drew Gulak versus Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura. Daniel Bryan and Gulak actually come out doing the yes chants, even though we have nobody in the crowd, which it's funny how AEW in Daily's place had 6, 7, 8 people on each, like 6 or 7 people in total between both sides out there making some noise and actually being a tiny crowd. What did WWE do? The same thing they did last Friday and the same thing they did on Monday. They had no crowd. Ugh. This, and then apparently some WWE employee talked to somebody, I can't remember who I saw this from, but they were told that they couldn't have anybody in the crowd. Oh, really now? Because you're in Orlando, Daily's place is in Jacksonville. Why is AEW allowed to have about 6 to 10 people in their crowd, but you can't have anybody? I don't buy that for a fucking minute. Go back to the ring. Out comes Daniel Bryan and Gulak. They try to get the yes chant going for the empty arena. Back from break, we see Bryan and Gulak warming up together. Looks like they're hyping each other up. This looks like, and honestly, this looks like a team that Daniel Bryan, it's been rumored, wants to, or has talked about wanting to, cut back on his in-ring career. He's been doing it for so long. It's time for him to, wrestle less often. This would be the perfect thing for Daniel Bryan. Drew Gulak and Daniel Bryan as a tag team. They could vie for the tag team championships. They could be in the tag team division. Daniel Bryan doesn't have to wrestle a full match on his own. Daniel Bryan could have Drew Gulak take most of the heat, come in, do a couple big spots, tag him back in, and yada yada. So this could be a great thing for Daniel Bryan. And also is a great thing for Drew Gulak because it keeps him from doing his stupid PowerPoint presentations. We see the kick-ass, badass cruiserweight champion version of Drew Gulak that we should have been seeing since he moved over to Smackdown. This is the Drew Gulak we need to see and we want to see. So it was great to see that this is where this is going, and hopefully after can't call it anymore. PC Mania, which is where it's going to be, which they're still using the WrestleMania 36 logo with the pirate blade and the flag and all that stuff, and it's like, why don't you change your logo for this Mania and just do some kind of bland, boring logo? Keep WrestleMania 37 in Hollywood, and then have Jacksonville or Tampa Bay at Raymond James Stadium get WrestleMania 38 2 years later. Just everything that you had for WrestleMania 36, repurpose it for 2 years from now. Bryan and Nakamura start off as they trade holds, sizing each other up. Sami has joined Cole on commentary. Bryan takes control and tags Gulak in for a quick double team. Cesaro makes his way in, but Gulak takes him down with a scissors and grounds him more back and forth. This was actually a pretty good match here, and I commend these four for actually going out there and giving us a competitive match, wanting to see who could win this match. Nakamura legal, and now it's Bryan. Bryan fights back and connects with an uppercut. Nakamura tags in Cesaro as he kicks Bryan. Bryan sends Nakamura out to the floor. Bryan ends up sending Nakamura over the table, almost into Sami's lap. He was on commentary. Cesaro unloads, now taking out both opponents with the power moves as Sami stands up and cheers him on. Cesaro has words with the referee while the others are down on the outside. Back to commercial break. Back from break, and the heels keep control. They are just beating up on Daniel Bryan. He can't seem to get to Drew Gulak. Bryan around and Cesaro's working Bryan around and tags Nakamura back in. Nakamura drops Bryan and hits a big knee drop for another 2 count. Cesaro with another tag as they keep Bryan grounded, working him around and back in the corner. Cesaro with a big right hand. Cesaro whips Bryan in the corner and keeps following up with the running European uppercuts. We get towards the end of the match, and Gulak fights off Cesaro after he was tagged in. He got the hot tag. He went out there, balls like blaze of fire, beating the hell out of both guys. Looking for a comeback, Gulak manages to level Nakamura with a big clothesline as both go down. Devastating looking clothesline, mind you. Gulak can't tag because Bryan is still down on the floor. Cesaro and Gulak go up in the middle of the ring. Gulak keeps fighting Cesaro off. Bryan comes back into the apron and tags in with a double team. Bryan ends up rolling Cesaro up for the pin as Gulak stops Nakamura from coming back in to make the save. Bryan and Gulak are your winners. Sami Zayn is not a happy camper by the end of this. After the match, Sami yells at the referee and claims Bryan wasn't legal, even though he did tag in. Bryan's views are kids. He and Gulak start celebrating. We go to replays and they talk some trash back to Sami. We look back, Cole brings up the fact that we're going to look back at Cena versus Bray Wyatt. The night Bray Wyatt claims that his entire career was broken and the beginning of the Fiend was manifested from that night. Paige was also going to join us for a confrontation with the Women's Champion. Cole plugs the ESPN airing of Old WrestleMania, starting with WrestleMania 30 this coming Sunday at 7 p.m. Back from break, and Daniel Bryan is backstage. He is just hyped that they won this match. It was freaking awesome, but Drew Gulak's like, okay, now that we've done that, now it's time to stretch and get a workout in. And then Sami Zayn walks up and rants about how they shouldn't be celebrating a mediocre win. He says they squeaked out a win last week, and this week, Sami asks Bryan when he's going to come to his senses and start listening to the Intercontinental Champion and quit listening to this nobody. Bryan fires back and challenges Sami Zayn to a title match at WrestleMania. Sami says, fine, if you don't want to listen to me, fine. If Drew Gulak can defeat Shinsuke Nakamura next week on Smackdown, then Daniel Bryan will get a title shot at WrestleMania. So Nakamura versus Drew Gulak, honestly, if this was in NXT, this would be a show-stealing show. If this was in NXT and we had a full crowd, this would be a show match on previous NXT where we would get taped shows and we would have that takeover quality match. This would be a takeover quality match if you had Shinsuke Nakamura and Drew Gulak booked the way they should be booked. Should be hopefully a good match still. We go to the ring and Cole is in the ring. He introduces Paige on the big screen. She goes to speak, but out comes Sasha Banks and Bayley, and Sasha Banks looked like she was ready to go out. She looked like a hooker. I'm just going to put it that way. Banks and they're not happy with Paige no showing last week and getting time this week. They welcome her to the show and tell her to get on with what she has to say. Paige goes on and calls them bullies. They laugh at her for being forced into retirement. Paige says they're right. Her career is over and what she loves to do was taken away. Paige goes on and says she spoke to people at Fox and asked if she could be one to announce Bayley's match. Bayley says they're skipping WrestleMania and going to the Hall of Fame. But Paige reveals that it will be Bayley defending against in a six-pack challenge elimination match. Let me say this right. Lacey Evans, Dana Brooke, Mina Snuka, Naomi, and Sasha Banks. I can understand Lacey Evans. I can understand Naomi, but Tamina and Dana Brooke. Tamina, when was the last time Tamina had a fucking match? Why is she getting a six-pack? This is the order they're going to be eliminated. Tamina's going to be eliminated first. Dana Brooke's going to be eliminated second. And you're going to be down to the four women that actually seem to fucking matter on this show. Then Naomi will be it will come down to those four. Then somehow, if anything, it's going to be either Banks or Bayley win this match. Banks looks over at Bayley with this look on her face like, oh shit. And he also had that look of, wow, I know I'm her best friend, but I want that women's championship. So I'm going to come for it. Bayley just leaves, she storms off. Banks looks on from the ring a little bit like, I got a match at WrestleMania for the women's championship, something I haven't had probably since WrestleMania 31. I could be wrong. The women's championship, not the tag titles, but the women's championship. I would have to say, yeah, it's WrestleMania 31. What was that triple threat match where Banks got screwed out of the match because Ric Flair was there and they had to give Charlotte Flair a big win at WrestleMania. Bayley hugs her title and walks to the back, and we go to commercial break. Back from break, and we get the WrestleMania 36 feud, and then we go straight into a 6-year-old match. A 6-year-old match. Oh my god. This match, just watching this match back, you forget how bad this match was. This match was not good. And I come to the realization, and I'm thinking about this, is like, Bray Wyatt has never been a really great in-ring worker. Bray Wyatt's character, whether it's the Fiend or the Eater of Worlds, has been strong in character, presentation, and promo skills. But as an in-ring worker, Bray Wyatt is not that good of an in-ring worker. Just look at his matches with Seth Rollins, Daniel Bryan, The Miz. All three of those guys are average to great wrestlers, and all of those matches were not that good. So I'm not wanting to see The Fiend versus John Cena. I don't. The Fiend is a scary-looking character. The Fiend works just to scare, but when it comes to matches, it's not good. And this was going to be, until about a month ago, it was going to be Roman Reigns versus The Fiend for the Universal Championship. And it's just, you got to come to the realization that The Fiend is not a good wrestler. Now, John Cena is not any Shawn Michaels type character. He's not a ring general. He's not a ring leader. This is going to be especially with no fans being in attendance, no one watching this match, no one reacting to this match. This match is going to be fucking awful. This match needs to be postponed. This match needs to be postponed ASAP. This match is going to be fucking awful. It was bad 6 years ago. And yes, The Fiend's it's the character of The Fiend that comes off as, this thing looks awesome, but this match is not going to be good whatsoever. I wasn't hyped for Cena versus The Fiend before. I don't want to see it now. After watching what they did 6 years ago and how pedestrian it was then, I really don't want to see this match. And the Exalted One does not approve of a rerun of his past life being shown on WWE television. Just saying. Then we have just plain awfulness. The tag team champions come out for the dirt sheet. Cole shows us what happened between Nikki Cross and women's tag team champion Asuka, Alexa Bliss, and Nikki Cross last week. Cameron Braxton is backstage with Bliss Cross, and Cross flips out at Asuka, but a calm Bliss takes the mic and addresses Asuka for just getting into her business, and she invites Asuka to Smackdown next week and challenges to a match, which will happen, which I don't know how that can happen, but I guess dire circumstances allow anything to happen. And we get the dirt sheets. They said they're missing something other than fans with challenges, and that is challenges for the WrestleMania 36. He says they already defeated everyone in the Elimination Chamber. Miz jokes that they should ask the audience who they want in their opponents. We hear New Day's familiar intro, but it's a pre-recorded shot of Miz and Morning dressed as New Day rejects. Next, we see a pre-recorded shot of Miz and Morrison in the audience dressed as the Uso rejects. And then we see them in empty arena dressed as a bunch of bacon ripoffs. They use editing here to make it look like the three tag teams are arguing with each other and making their teams look bad. Miz and Morrison are ready to take the night off when out comes Heavy Machinery. The real Heavy Machinery, who were booked for a match against Miz and Morrison before SmackDown tonight. So we get this tag team match. This is your main event match of the evening. So we got two live matches, and I'm going to say that the two live matches we got tonight were better than what they did last week on SmackDown. Well, last week on SmackDown we got like 3 matches or so, and all of them were pedestrian at best. But this match, it's not even about the match you got to talk about. It's the fact that halfway through this match, Dolph Ziggler comes down, music and all, comes down, goes on commentary for we go to commercial, we come back, goes on commentary for about a few minutes. Gets up as Otis is about to do the worm, or the caterpillar, whatever the fuck you want to go with. And says, hey, big man, I know you've smitten with my kitten. He said that, smitten with my kitten. But I think you need to see these photos, and you should deserve to see these. And it's pictures of Mandy Rose and Dolph Ziggler happy and lovely and whatever. So Otis starts charging and exits the ring to go after Dolph Ziggler, catches him, throws him down, gets a chair, looks like he's about to kill this guy. Miz and Morrison stop that, and Dolph Ziggler gets away, but Otis absolutely destroys the tag team champions, beats the living bejesus out of them, beats them up, puts them through the wall where the medical crew and all of them are at, and then he gets a chair. And Otis and Tucker comes over and is like, don't do this, man. Let's just finish this match. You can do it after, but don't do this, man. Otis just takes the chair and starts wailing on the tag team champions. Call for the bell. Ziggler looks on from the stage as he's shocked and emotional Otis continues to destroy. Things aren't well inside. Until Tucker is saying, fuck this 6 feet, this social distancing bullshit. I'm going to hug my dude. I'm going to hug my dude and calm this dude down. And that was that. So where this is going to lead to WrestleMania, I don't know. They dropped the ball already by not having Rudolph win the tag team titles and take him into WrestleMania, where Otis and Tucker face them for the tag team titles, with Otis pinning Ziggler after hitting a Caterpillar trash compactor, yada yada. Cole's in the ring, and he brings out the big dog Roman Reigns for his WrestleMania 36 contract signing. Cole brings out the Universal Champion, who gets some smoke. He doesn't get pyro like fireworks, but he gets smoke. He walks down, enters the ring, places the title on the table. They stare each other down. Cole asks them to take a seat, but they both say, you know what? Fuck these seats, and tosses them away. Cole asked the Universal Champion who he expected to answer his recent challenge. He said he actually hoped it would be Reigns, but he didn't think Reigns had the balls to challenge him. Cole asks Reigns why he accepted. Roman says he's been fortunate because all the greats from Cena to The Undertaker, Triple H, and Brock Lesnar have chose him, but they have all lost to him. And you will be no different. Cole asked Reigns about a recent tweet he took shots at the champion on Twitter, where the final line was his headbutt, and saying it's like calling a stupid headbutt type of mentality, where he would headbutt his head and cause a concussion or bust his head open. Reigns says he's nothing but a little bitch bulldog in his yard holding a title he never earned. Signs a contract as the champion stares him down. He then calls him a punk and says he's been destroying steel doors all over the world with his head, but in come WrestleMania, Reigns will just be another victim. Signs the contract, folds it up, hands it to Cole, flips the table, picks up the title, flips the table, they stare each other down, show goes off the air. This contract signing was so forceful. WWE just force-feeding the same rhetoric that we got before. It's just so bad. WWE is lucky that this week and last week and next week and the week after that and WrestleMania, as of right now, are all going to be closed to everybody. Because honestly, this match, if it was at a live audience, and we're going to have a whole talk about this completely on Sunday's episode of Unscripted, my thoughts on WrestleMania and everything that's going on. But they are lucky that this match is going on in an empty building. Because by the time, if this would have main evented a one-night WrestleMania over Drew McIntyre and Brock Lesnar, that would have got the match shit on. These promos that we've had cut over the last 2 weeks would have had everyone shit on them. Whatever they do next week and the week after that, people would shit all over this match. Vince McMahon had a plan: get the title on the champion that it is now. That people would hate that, they would boo him. So when we got to WrestleMania, Roman would be the most over guy in the company. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen. And it wouldn't have happened anyway. This match is going to be atrocious. Whatever night this main events, and the fact that they have a 2-night WrestleMania and WWE can get away with Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre both main eventing a night of WrestleMania would be something that WWE can actually sit there and say, hey, we gave you Brock Lesnar versus Drew McIntyre in the main event. It was just the main event on Saturday. Because I'm pretty sure Roman is going to get the main event on Sunday, because that's the traditional night of WrestleMania. Now, One of the dumbest things WWE did tonight was not bring Triple H back. Yes, he buried Michael Cole last week all night long. There would have been no problem with watching him bury Michael Cole again. Have fun, be a clown, be a goof, be whatever. It helped the show last week. This week, they kept him away. You had 2 matches that were live. Michael Cole called them pretty much by himself. I would never want to have Michael Cole or anybody call a show by themselves. Yes, a couple, 10, 15 years ago, when JR was on Monday Night Raw. It was in 2003 when something happened to King, and it was the Katie Vick night where they had that TLC match. JR called that match by himself. He did a phenomenal job, but I would never want to have somebody call a match on their own. So why the fuck would WWE have Michael Cole just host this show by himself? I mean, Raw has all of its announce team. Where the fuck is Corey Graves? Why isn't he there? Why can't they have Vic Joseph, or not Vic Joseph, I wouldn't say Mara, that'd be a bad idea. Beth Phoenix or somebody call SmackDown with Michael Cole. Give me something other than just Michael Cole by himself, because that's just nauseating right there. WWE just won't learn their lessons, and I don't know what they're going to do in the next 3 weeks. Apparently, they're going to be taping the next 2 weeks of SmackDown, which will be on the 27th and the 3rd. So these are going to be taped episodes going into WrestleMania a day later on the 3rd, and 2 days after that as well. But hopefully things will go becoming a little bit better for us as we get closer and closer to WrestleMania. I would find it hilarious if this entire scare attack, this entire pandemic thing was over 2 days or so, 3 days after WrestleMania. I would find that absolutely hilarious if this all just died down and disappeared by the beginning of April and WrestleMania wasn't postponed for at least a week or 2. I would find that absolutely hilarious that you could have had WrestleMania with a huge fan, a whole bunch of fans there, but you decided to go on as scheduled. It's going to be interesting to see what happens next week. There's also the rumor, and we'll talk about that later, WrestleMania being pre-taped, which I will give you my opinion of that on Sunday. But this is all. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, find me on Twitter and Twitch at The France Club, find me on Instagram at The France Club, and I will see you guys later. I'll see you guys Sunday for Unscripted, and see what they're going to do for Monday for Raw. Until then, my name is France, and I'll see you guys later.